Well, good morning to you, internet friends near and far. Welcome to another episode of Parks and Conversation. This is a podcast where we watch an episode of Parks and Rec and then we talk about it. And my name is Jason. I'm joined all the way across town by my friend Jeremy. Say hello, Jeremy.
Hello.
And how fare you today?
I fare well. I got some good sleep last night after a long trip.
Yeah,
on the aeroplane, and I'm back. I'm ready to podcast. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. The weather is holding. It's in a holding pattern.
About the weather that I have
and,
as well.
So yeah, it seems okay. I came home. Jeremy, you and I. It's no secret that we were on vacation. And we came back. We came from the wonderful warm weather of California, and as soon as you land in SeaTac. From anywhere else in the world, the doors open and immediately you're greeted with damp air.
It's true.
And I was like, I love it here so much. I love it here so much.
It's cool and refreshing.
Oh, yeah, it was great. And it seemed like 75% less vape smoke right out of the airport, which was nice. It's the last several times that I traveled, it seemed like there were so many people jonesing for a drag off their dragon stick that by the time they got right to the door, they just couldn't help themselves. They had to fire up the vape. But this time it was I didn't really experience that as much. So that was even better.
We did fly in on a Thursday. So,
vape knows no days. It's every day, drive around, filling your car with dragon smoke. And rolling the window down every once in a while and having your kids in their car seats going what's wrong with that car, Daddy? And I said, they think they're cool.
It's on fire. Don't worry about it.
They think they're cool. I tell my kids over and over again, if anybody ever offers you a cigarette or a vape stick, just say, that's not cool. And my kids are so much more well adjusted than I am or was at their age. And they're like, we know, Dad. I look at it and I also think that's not cool. Every time, and my daughter, every time I see one of those, you've trained me to think that man's a dragon. So, yeah, but that's neither here nor there. Because today we need to talk about the season 4, episode 14. It's another Valentine's Day episode, and this is the basic premise is the Parks Department is hosting a Valentine's party for the city of Pawnee. It's a singles mixer of some sort, I guess. And Leslie is going to try to get everybody to help fix Anne up while at the same time creating a scavenger hunt for Ben for them to celebrate their first Valentine's Day together. And hilarity ensues.
Yeah, I'm pretty messed up right now because I feel like everything's gearing up for Halloween. And here we are at nearly the antithesis of Halloween, Valentine's Day. Watching this Valentine's Day. I've been just immersed in this Halloween world of Disneyland. And now we're just doing this Valentine's Day. So it's just, I don't know. I don't have any, I'm just reeling from so many holidays.
Think about it this way. Valentine's Day is just another day, but you're only costuming your feelings.
and your cards. For some reason, they can't just be normal cards now. They have to have hearts and stuff on them.
Yeah. When you were a kid, because we're of a similar generation.
Yeah.
We when did you in elementary school? Did you guys do the Valentine's Day party?
We did. Yeah. We had the shoe. We had to decorate your shoebox, and then you got your cards put in.
Yeah, and were you forced to give everybody a Valentine's card, or could you choose?
Forced. You were pretty much forced to, but some people they went above and beyond for those that they liked a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, I had enough cards for everybody. I didn't give them to everybody.
Wow.
I was like, well, I don't really like Ben. and I don't want him to think I like him this way. So no, Ben, I mean, we sit by each other all the time, but no, I'm not going to give you a Valentine's Day card.
Yeah, they need to have like a separate tear part, because now they're just all like tear off sheets, like like they're little cards, like business card size that you get like a pencil or
exactly
a piece of like inedible candy, and they should just have one of those sheets. It's like that says "Happy Valentine's Day. I had to do this,"
or just like, we know what this means.
Yeah, you know,
just like a shruggy emoji. I don't know.
I don't know.
But Leslie will have none of that kind of shenanigans in this. Like, she goes all out for Valentine's Day, and it starts with on the 13th, which is Galentine's Day. And so the credit scene is Leslie hosting Galentine's Day brunch with all of her friends, talking about how awesome it is and getting way too much information about her mom's love life. And so that was interesting, but she also gives everybody a gift. She goes above and beyond, and I love her gift. She gives gift certificates for facials and also a needlepoint pillow with your face on it and a headline from a newspaper on the day you were born. And her mom says, Joseph Stalin dies. That's right, Mom. And you replaced him. Which is a great, great joke. Not in terms of genocide, just as, being on Earth. So, and then she talks about what Valentine's Day is to her. And then she's like, this should be a national holiday. And then she promptly emails Congress. Hello, Congress. And then starts writing an email about how this should be a national holiday.
It's Leslie again.
Yeah. Dear Congress, it's Leslie again. And so, yeah, so then they start going through personal relationships, and Donna's like, she has many men in rotation. One's waiting in the car. And April in her relationship, talking about Andy and how he's supposed to buy gas, but instead about novelty cookie cutters and everything they eat shaped like a dinosaur. He's great. I mean, this is so good. And then Leslie learns about her mom and her friend Steven and how they are very compatible and gross. And then Anne is like, says she's on a lull right now, but really I'm happy for everyone. And it's hard to not be sarcastic, which is hilarious. And I love how this ends with her is, seriously, I hope you guys are all very happy. And April, before she can even finish it, is like, we are. We are very happy.
And the look that Anne gives her is both like incredulous and sad at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
So well done. It doesn't pull away from Anne for her reaction. It's like, we are. Oh, okay. And then Leslie catches up to her later. It's like, hey, sorry, I put you on your spot there. And I'm gonna. And Anne's like, no big deal. This is just a hard time. And as she's walking away, I love Leslie's like, Anne, you beautiful spinster, I will find you love. You beautiful spinster. So that kind of sets up the motivation for Leslie for this episode. She wants Anne to be happy because Anne is her best friend in all the world. And so, so she's going to try to get everybody to help her accomplish this goal. And it starts in the most logical way is at a staff meeting for the Parks Department. And I love how Ron seems very eager to jump into this staff meeting. And he's like, thank you all for being here. Let's get started. And Leslie, who is usually the one who leads all things Parks Department, is like, wow, great attitude, Ron. And he's like, no, I'm just talking to these ribs.
And once again, the perfect like the pan down, like we don't see what he's talking to, and then they pull back, and there's a giant plate of ribs.
Yeah, I just love, just simple things. Ron, I would imagine a staff meeting like this is probably at 9 a.m.
It's his breakfast ribs.
Yeah, these are post breakfast ribs, pre morning snack bacon. It's like, oh, I'm going to eat these ribs now. Let's get started. And
got a whole pig to get through today.
Yeah, this is Tom. And so, so Leslie's like, hey, this Valentine's Day dance is planned, and we just have everything's taken care of, but we have to help Anne find a bachelor for tomorrow, for the dance. And so we're all in on this. So everybody bring one eligible bachelor. And April says no, she's totally hideous. No, Anne's not totally hideous. Why does she need our help? But because that's what friends do. And so they start working through this whole thing. And so she then starts saying like, all right, her last serious relationship was Chris. And so we need to work through the kind of qualities that she's looking for. And so this person needs to be attractive, smart, and kind. And as she's going through, it's a presentation on a PowerPoint. And so it's making an acrostic. And then she starts to go through the next one. Also, you need to find someone educated, friendly, and fun. And Ron just like, just tell us the word effervescent. He needs to be effervescent. And then Tom does Tom things, which he asks, does anybody know if she has any Indian in her? And Leslie knows Tom things. It's like, no one respond. And Jerry, though, finally says, no, I don't think she does. And Tom's response is, well, would she like some? And now everybody's mad at Jerry. Yeah.
Don't hold Tom accountable.
No, Tom's the one who is violating HR policies here, but it is still Jerry's fault. So then Ben comes to see Leslie. And in my notes here, I wrote something that also, listener, I don't think you would be surprised by this, that Ben gets another customized toy.
Right. Yeah.
Yotter Otter, which is great. I love Yotter Otter. I think that's a good idea. And this customized toy came from a dream Leslie had 2 months ago about a Playboy otter lost at sea, and Ben made it real. So wherever he's getting these customized toys in town, I don't understand. And I know, listener CJ, you've got the farm down there with the
llamas,
the llama hair making toys and stuff. But this is above and beyond. And Pawnee is too small a town to have this in town. But Leslie's like, hey, I thought we weren't going to do this because we're all so busy. But of course, Leslie already had a plan. And so she made a gift for Ben, and Ben's first instinct is this a bomb? But no, it's a cryptex, like in the Da Vinci Code. And so it's a whole bunch of puzzles that are going to lead to a scavenger hunt to some place for them to meet at 9 p.m.
I love that it was because it was the first movie that they saw on Stars. Not the first movie they saw, but the first movie they saw on Stars.
Yeah, which is, as we will come to see, Leslie tracks all kinds of anniversaries and special occasions, which will be a problem later. But Ben and Anne will fix that. They'll solve it. And so Leslie is sending Ben on a quest to solve all of these puzzles. And so let's follow that plot line, and then we'll come back to the main plot line.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So Andy runs into Ben in the hallway, and Andy right away is like, oh, wow, cryptex. Can I have it? Can I have it? Andy is a 4-year-old child.
Yeah.
And Ben is like, no, how do you know what it is? And Andy's response is just, I know what things are.
Can we just say, like, that jacket? I don't know. I have nothing to say, but just that it's just this big blue and white, like, ski jacket or something that I've never seen him in before. And I don't know why. It just made an impression.
And is this a jacket that you would like?
No. Why was he wearing it? What was going on?
It's February. It's cold.
I guess. I don't know. They've never really dressed for the occasion in the past, I feel. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the halls are particularly cold because that's where he runs into them. So, but I know what things are. And so it's like the first thing is a 5-letter word that has anything to do with our third date. And Andy says, have you tried? And it bleeps it out. And Ben's like, that's a 4-letter word. Not if you had an S. And then Andy's like, well, you're the second smartest person I know, so let's go to the first smartest person. And they go to Ron and goes through this whole thing. And Ron also suggests the same word. And Ben's like, why is everybody's first suggestion? And Andy's response is, just smart people.
Just smart. Yeah.
And then Ron's like, yeah, I think I can help you. And he just breaks it open, like grabs a hammer, smashes it. And then Andy grabs it to unroll it because he, again, is a 4-year-old. It's like, this is me. Everything's about me. And so Andy reads the clue. The murals with this heart you see, look to the first, and there your next clue will be. And Ron, right away, the first letter of the name of each mural with a heart on will spell out the clue or something. So Ron is, he seems annoyed but helpful with this whole situation. And so he says, let's go check out the murals. And so on they go to check out the murals. And they all come back, and we have a list of murals that Andy brings. And so the ones from the hallway Andy checked out are Cornfield Slaughter, Lament of the Buffalo, Needless Slaughter, Slaughter Gone Wrong, Eating the Reverend, It's Raining Blood, and Death Everywhere. So that's the violent hall, the hall of violence.
So much slaughter.
And so Ben is like, thank you, I think I got it here. And he's trying to send him off away. And Andy is like, no, April hates Valentine's and brunch and outside and smiling. She's weird. And then Ron, though, figures out the whole thing with all the first letters of all the different murals. And it says, no food diner, clue 3 at JJ's Diner, which leads to the question, how many clues are there? Dun, dun, dun. So, and then next we see them. They're at JJ's Diner. And Ben quickly discerns that the only food finder is the best food of all for Leslie is whipped cream. And so they're going to check all the whipped cream cans. Andy just grabs one from off the table and starts spraying it, like seeing if it'll come out of the thing. But Ben then goes and Jurassic Parks it and unscrews the bottom. And there it is. There's the clue. And then so the clue is something wicked this way comes. Once you peruse a book with your thumbs, go to the one who succumbs. I'll be attached with a little gum. And Ben is flummoxed, but then Ron again, I hate riddles and other such nonsense. I want that on the record. But he's like, this something wicked with the book is my white library ex-wife, which means I'm the one that succumbs. And he looks down at his shoe and he's like, oh, and he sees the little piece of the clue attached with gum. And he's like, man, she's good.
On his own shoe. It's great.
So when did this happen?
Right.
And how long has she been working on this? And so the clue then is follow me to the sheltered snow. Only 22 clues left to go. And so they decide that there's no way they're going to get 25 clues figured out. So they need to split up and hope that they just figure it out in time. And so somehow in a deleted scene, they look at all of the different places that they have been, I would imagine. But they split up to cover more ground. And then we see Ben goes to the Snow Globe Museum, which was the exact clue that this one was given. And we see there Martin Starr working as the curator of the Snow Globe Museum. Martin Starr was a co-star with Adam Scott in the show Party Down. And Martin Starr is hilarious.
Yeah.
And somebody comes up to him and I want this show.
Martin Starr in a snow globe shop in a snow globe museum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they come up, first of all, why would there be a snow globe museum?
It's Pawnee.
Who is funding it?
They make toys.
You think
custom toys?
The Snow Globe Museum has a custom toy business to fund their true passion, snow globes.
No, I'm just saying any town that has a toy making shop, a custom toy making shop, can have a snow globe museum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that in the Constitution?
Pawnees, yes.
Got it. All right. And so, but this person comes up to uh, Martin Starr and is holding a snow globe. Is my brain candy? My brain candy. My brain
Canon.
cannon. I am also recovering from vacation. Brain cannon, and so they. He just like turns it over. It's like, I don't know. It's working now.
Oh my word!
Like they like this snow globe seems broken.
Right? It doesn't work.
So,
He is such a funny guy, man. And once again, here's another MCU. Now he's not a hero, but he is in the MCU not once but twice.
What's in the Spider-Man movie?
He's
is
a
he in
Spider-Man.
both of them?
Yeah, he's in both of them.
Oh, okay.
But he was also in the Incredible Hulk. He was a computer nerd.
Oh, interesting. So he went from computer nerd to teaching at a like science advanced education high school.
Yeah, and I think that's why they allowed him just to continue in the MCU, because that's probably what he ended up becoming later in life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it makes sense.
I'm for it. All right, I'm glad we solved that riddle.
Yep.
So Ben comes in and is like, "Hey, first is like, how's it going?" And Martin's response, "It's Valentine's Day and I'm working the late shift at a snow globe museum, so I'm right where I want to be." And then he's like, "Hey, my girlfriend left a clue here." He's like, "Yeah, okay, you're Ben. She said you'd be here by noon, so you're not doing so good." And so I'm supposed to tell you it's under one of the snow globes, but which one? Ooh, and Ben starts shaking all the globes like, "I don't know. Nope. You really suck at this." And then he finally finds it. And he's like, "I found it." And Martin is like, "Wait, no, that might be from the other scavenger hunt." So, which seems like, I think he's lying. I don't think there were multiple scavenger hunts. So, so Ben found a clue, and then Ron goes to the Bulge, the Pawnee's gay bar, which is also close to Ron's house, and walks in. It's like, I believe Leslie may have left some kind of scavenger hunt clue here, and the bartender's like, "Got it." And all the dudes at the bar are scouting out Ron, and he just looks at him as like, "Gentlemen," and he gets the clue. He's like, "Enjoy your evening." And then Andy is trying to solve it as well, and he sees the clue inside of a a case with a raccoon in it, which it says, it always says break glass in case of an emergency. And he's got this crowbar, and then he's about to smash it, and he's like, "Wait a second!" And he looks behind, he can reach it, and he grabs the clue, and then he just drops the crowbar on top of it and breaks the glass anyway. So, so they're doing great.
Andy. Yeah.
I would also like an episode that just goes through and Ron continues to work all the clues.
Yes.
I would be on board with that. And so they come back together, and Ben is like, "I got 9, 3, and 4. And Ron says, "I got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. I got lucky." And then a talking head, "And I love riddles." And Andy found some clues and this weird stick. It might be a clue.
Nope.
But he only found clue 8 and 22. So he anyway, he was literally just looking randomly and found 8 and 22. Didn't even try to solve 8 or 22. He just, I found these.
And a stick that's interesting. Like, this is cool. Might be something.
No. So Ron is then they're sitting together. He's like, "We failed. If I just had a little bit more time." And Ben is concerned, like, "She's waiting for me somewhere and I'm going to be a failure." And I love Ron's rationale here, because Leslie loves romance, but she also loves being right. Is there something that you used to disagree on, but you've since come around to her way of thinking? And Ron is a genius, and Ben goes off to this place.
The reaction shot of Ron as he just kind of closes his eyes and slowly nods, like, "Yes, I am a genius."
Yes. I have figured it out. So we'll come back to Ben and Leslie's reunion in a moment, because the other side of this story is the Valentine's Day party that the Parks Department is throwing for the people. and everybody's got their stuff figured out. Oh no, I did something. I'm sorry. I don't worry about it, everybody. I fixed it. So Tom goes to Chris because everything's coming together, but he's got an idea for a DJ. But Chris is very sad, and so Tom sees this. He's like, "Hey, you still thinking about that?" And Chris's response is, "Millicent Gergich has literally torn my heart from my body and replaced it with a thick slab of sadness. I may never smile again." And Tom like takes a beat and is like, "Cool." So I found a DJ for the dance, and his name is DJ Blunts. And Chris is like, "No, this is his advertising is inappropriate." And then Chris volunteers because he has nothing else to do. He has no other plans for Valentine's Day because I am completely alone. And again, Tom's like, "All right, I'll see you later."
Just walks out.
Tommy need a mango. So Chris has volunteered to be the DJ for the Valentine's Day party, which can't be a good idea. And so we get to the party, and he's set up his DJ booth, and he greets everybody. And I'm just going to read his greeting. "Happy Valentine's Day, Pawnee. For me, it is not happy. But don't let my sadness diminish your night. Anyway, life is fleeting." And then he plays for most of the night some of the discordant, saddest music I have ever heard. So,
I saw IMDb. Somebody had put I Shazammed the music that he was playing, and I came up with Kangso by Tashi Lumpo Monastery. It's basically Tibetan monk chanting.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So Jerry comes into the party and runs into Leslie. Like, "Leslie, I found a date for Anne," and he put an ad on Craigslist: "Man seeking man for a night of casual fun." And Rico, he responded right away. And Tom and Leslie both point out to Jerry that he hired a male escort, and Jerry's like, "Oh no, I did." So now that's Jerry's problem to solve.
Please get your gigolo out of here.
And then April brought a bachelor as well, and she brought Oren. To which Leslie responds, "Anne is not some weird morose mummy. Offense intended, Oren. Let this be a wake up call about the way you present yourself to the world." So Leslie is still frustrated and trying to figure things out, but then Anne shows up and like, "Hey, you're here. We're just talking about you." So Anne can't think of a more depressing place to be, but Leslie then gives an example of a more depressing place to be. And I was watching this episode with my children this morning, and so Leslie's example made them laugh out loud. So what about a wedding where you used to go out with the groom and you're the only one there without a date, so the bride makes you dance to Single Ladies by yourself?
Oh,
did that happen to you? Maybe. Let's get you a drink.
Mean. All the single ladies, just one.
Yeah, just you. And then Anne notes that the music seems about right. So so then Leslie goes to a talking head, and she's like, "Everybody is taken." She goes through the list of guys she knows who are taken, but then she looks at her phone and it says P Hut. Oh, that's Pizza Hut. So she calls Pizza Hut to ask how cute that person is, which not great strategy. Having worked at a pizza place, I would advise against that. And then Leslie brings over her friend Alex, who turns out to be a lawyer that gives campaign advice, and Leslie just sets them up and takes off. "You two hit it off now," and then leaves. And then Tom tries to get the music changed, and he points out, "This music sounds like the end of a movie about a monk who killed himself." And Chris' response, "It is." And then Tom says, "Why don't you rebound?" And he points out nobody compares to Millicent except maybe Jerry, because they share 50% of the same DNA. And then he looks longingly at Jerry. And the camera pans over to Jerry, noticing Chris yearning for him. And he freaks out. He's like, "What's happening?" And Tom's like, "Stop staring at Jerry." Leslie brings another dude over to meet Anne, Jeff. And Jeff says, well, you didn't tell me that your friend was so beautiful. And then he goes on to say, not as beautiful as my sister, but you know, the law.
But no, Jeff.
And that ended that. So Leslie's like, how am I supposed to help Anne find the love of her life when this sounds like a funeral in here? And so she goes to try to help talk to Chris and try to get things moving, change the music up.
And I think there's a shot right there of Oren just like really enjoying himself. Like he loves like yeah, this is, you know, it's bad when Oren's having fun.
Yeah. This is the best music ever. But then she turns to April like, thanks for nothing. And it points out to April like, Anne would help you with this. And so why don't you just go hide under the table with your friend Oren? And I see you, you weirdo. And you could just see his hands under the tablecloth. So then Tom comes up to Anne and says, hey, let me help you with these things. We're at this thing together. Let's just go through these bachelors and let's weed them out. And so the first one is Harris. It comes up. It's like, I heard you were desperate for a man piece. We in business. Points out Harris is 33 years old, lives with his parents, has been to 200 Fish concert, to which Harris responds, try 308. So, and that's a pass. And then the next one, this is Bill. Bill, Tom says, Anne saves lives for a living. What do you do? Well, let me begin. I'm an amateur juggler. And Tom says, no, stop. You shouldn't have started there.
Get out.
Nobody's trying to get with jugglers. And so then Leslie goes to talk to Chris, like, hey, why don't we change the music? And he and Leslie says, look on the bright side. I'm sure that Millicent couldn't keep up with you. And Chris was like, no, she was faster than me. So I was setting many personal records. What if Millicent is my personal best? And Chris is, again, this is a joke that will come up later on. He's like, I'm 44 years old. And Leslie says, you don't look a day over 30. Most people say 25.
Most people.
Who says that? A lot of people. And he thinks Millicent was his soulmate, but he says, no, look at Anne. You dated her. She's a perfect human specimen. And you tossed her out like day old chowder. But it's going to be okay. Buck up. And Chris says, thanks. I'll try. And then cut to
Are you not supposed
turned
to
up?
Are you not supposed to eat chowder after a day?
No, probably not.
Okay.
I would not trust it.
Asking for a friend.
Unless it's in a can still for many days.
Not in the sourdough bowl. Just put saran wrap over the top, right?
Oh, so gross. So gross. That is the
microwave it back up. Good to go.
You can't use bread bowl in the microwave. That won't work.
Soaks up all the chowder.
Chowder. I do love a bread bowl though. When it's hot soup. Like that's the reason to go to San Francisco.
That's it.
The bread bowl. And then leave as fast as you can. So thank you, listener from San Francisco. I'm sure you agree. You're just trapped there. And so Leslie comes over to Anne and hey, how does your evening seem to be unfolding in terms of conversations with men? And Anne's like, wow, I met a lot of different people. I just have a really great friend who's trying to help me find a date. So thank you. And she's like, I'm just going to go home and watch TV. And then Leslie's like, why don't you just give me your car keys for a second? And Anne's like, you're going to throw them on the roof so I can't leave. And she's like, no, I really do want to go. And so she's going to go. And Leslie feels bad. So she's like, I'm going to take Anne for a drink. Party's all taken care of. They don't need me here anymore. So I'm going to go. And then she sees Anne in her car putting on makeup using the emergency mini curling iron that she gave her. She's going on a date. And April comes up to her at the same time. Like, hey, you don't know what's going on. Just let her be. And Leslie, why does she keep this from me? Because it's someone she can't be dating. And then she comes to the realization that she hasn't seen Chris in a while. The music is better. And so she assumes that Anne is going to go meet Chris. And April is trying to keep her from doing that, tells her to leave her alone. It's none of your business. But Leslie's all amped up because her whole life was turned upside down because of Chris's rule that she can't date a superior in the parks department, in the government. And now Chris is going to date April or Anne, and now they can't let this happen.
That's
and
not
so
fair.
it's like, I will let it. Yeah, it's not fair. It's like, I will let it go for now. But she just goes to the little Sebastian Memorial, which is where the last clue would have led Ben had they found the last clue, because they did not find clue 25. And Leslie says, at first you did not understand what made this tiny horse so special, but now you love him more than I do. And Ben's response, yep, I miss him every day.
And looks right at the camera like, nope.
Yeah. And so
still don't get it.
Yeah. And so Ben is like, are you ready for your first ever Valentine's dinner? And Leslie's like, yes, but first I have to tell you something. Chris and Anne are on a secret date, which is crazy because he's our boss. That's what we were in and we were put on trial for. I know I'm not supposed to care, but let's just go have a romantic dinner. To which Ben responds, no, we have to catch them in the act right now. Screw romantic dinners. Let's go rub their faces in it. So they go to the restaurant that Leslie followed Anne to, and they try to sneak up to the window, and they look in, and they see that. Leslie's like, I cannot wait to see the look on Chris's remarkably youthful face when we march in there and confront him. So that was the come back to the 25 joke. And then they look and they see it's not Chris coming to meet Anne, it's Tom. What? And then this is exactly when April manages to show up as well, and tells them that she's the one who set them up, because we get a flash cut back to the dinner and April asking, like, what exactly are you looking for? Why not Tom? He's the only one who's made you smile all evening.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, look, he's a good guy. He'll take care of you. All that dumb swagger is just a show. He's sweet. And so, yeah, just see what would unfold. And cuts back to Ben, and his response is, man, I need to wrap my head around this. And April is like, look, he's at least kind of cool in this small town. He's semi-cool. And Leslie takes all of this whole thing together and says, you tried to make Anne happy for Valentine's Day. And April is grossed out by this and starts to leave. And Aunt Leslie's like parting words are, you're a very nice person. So, yeah. So they see them together having a drink. And again, Leslie's like, I do not understand this. This really confuses me. And Ben's like, well, you do love them both. Yeah, I love passionate speakers and Italian men. And Ben looks at her like, or it doesn't mean I love Mussolini. And Ben looks at her like, you love Italian men? And not as much as Irish, Scottish, white, whatever you are. Whatever. This is the weirdest Valentine's Day ever. So then it cuts into the restaurant, and Tom's like, this is really weird. I don't know what's happening. And Anne's like, this is totally close to falling apart. So she's like, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have a drink. We're going to talk, get to know each other. And then I'm going to drive home alone. And Tom gives an alternate possibility. We have drinks, get to know each other, whatever. Then go back to my place, snuggle up like little bunnies. And Anne's like, this was a mistake. To which Tom's response is the whiny, high pitched no, which Tom is so good at. So, yeah. So this sets up a whole relationship that no one saw coming early on in the introduction with Tom and Anne. Like, this was never a possibility, but we're going to have several episodes for the rest of the season, and into the next season with Tom and Anne as a couple. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like this dynamic. I don't like them together. I think they're weird. But listener, what do you think? What do you think about Tom and Anne? Do you think he's semi-cool?
Just let them be happy, Jason.
I can't. Speaking of letting people be happy, the credit scene, Ron comes to Leslie and is like, listen, thanks to your annoying prying last year, I'm sure you remember my birthday's coming up. And Leslie's like, I know you don't hate parties. Correct. And you know that wild goose chase you sent Ben on for Valentine's Day? I also do not want that. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I understand. No solving riddles of clues, each more intricate than the last. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, I got it. And then it cuts away. And then you just hear and then Ron at the window meekly going, I do want that. Please do that for me.
He's halfway hidden behind the door frame. Like you can't even see his whole face. Like scratching at the doorpost.
Right. And then it just cuts to Leslie just looking at the camera, just like nodding, like, yeah, I know.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's so funny. This whole episode.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just love the whole like the scavenger hunt dynamic of this episode. Yeah. We learned so much about Ron in this. So I just love it. So what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, we got Mussolini and a Stalin reference in the same episode.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Just throwing that out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Huh.
Do you like scavenger? Are you a scavenger hunt guy?
For that.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like sometimes, but I don't want I don't know. I'd like to be told what to look for without the
clue part.
Yeah, like just say like I like a scavenger hunt. Like go
find an
get
ostrich
a picture. Egg. Yeah, like that. That's already hard enough. So don't make me guess. Like it's a bird that could be 6 feet tall and it can't fly. I'm like, come on, that's a couple, right?
Big
There's
bird,
ostrich. Yeah. I can't go all the way to Sesame Street. Waze doesn't give me the directions.
That's why it's literally in the song.
To look up.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Because nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Are those people trapped there then?
I think so.
Oh my word, that's intense.
It's Brigadoon.
That would be. This is a much more intense children's show than I thought.
That's a bad episode of the Twilight Zone.
All these kids are trapped in Sesame Street.
Yeah, it's a Scarlet Witch situation.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's the original. Oh man, it's the original WandaVision, and they're trying to teach these kids stuff. Like, I know you're never going to go to school again.
Right.
Let me teach you the difference between near and far.
Because you're never going to get far.
Because you're stuck here forever. Also, every time you throw garbage away, Oscar gets more power.
It just gets stronger.
So don't waste. Eat your vegetables.
Wow.
All right. This is going to make me totally watch Sesame Street with new eyes now.
Gotta go back and watch them all.
What if Oscar and Maria are stuck here? And what's Grover's deal? Where did he come from?
Who makes the helmets there? Who's the armorer in Sesame Street?
And then is there a Squid Game mentality or two where maybe they have to fight their way out eventually? They just haven't unlocked that yet.
Right. But yeah, that's going to be in the sequel.
Have any of the Muppets from Sesame Street ever died? Have they ever disappeared and not been explained?
Not that I know of, but I can look into that.
Okay, let me know. Get back to me next week.
I will. Next week, as we listen, oh, by the way, this one got 8.2 on IMDb out of 18.
Getting back to the point? What?
Oh, getting back to the point. Out of nearly 1,900 reviews, and last week's was 8.7 at nearly 2,000 reviews. So next week, Dave returns and it gets an 8.0 at 1,800 reviews. So kind of, yeah, I don't know. I like this one a lot more than last week. So
yeah, agreed. I agree with that. The external reviews, I don't know. IMDb, you're really letting me down. You change everything. I know I say this every time. It's so dumb. So all right.
The layout,
yeah,
cool.
Well, listener, tell us what you think about IMDb, and also let us know what you think about
Anne's dating choices.
Yeah, talk to us, listener. Email at parksandconversation@gmail.com. And we look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, Bye, I guess.
Bye.